My name is Dr. Jody Dinnerman, and I am the founder and creator of All Things Staffless Practice. And the best part of my day was I was invited to go to Italy to teach a seminar. Today that happened. Isn't that totally cool? To stay in a castle. That's like the coolest part of it. So anyway, here's the thing. So I just adjusted a lot of people. I'm a pediatric and prenatal chiropractor here in New Jersey, and I had meetings up until 11 a.m. and then I saw my practice members who I love dearly. And then I rushed, sat in traffic, rushed home to get here, walk the dog, feed the dog, throw some dried mango down my throat so that my blood sugar didn't crash in the middle of this training. And I can honestly say that the office part of my day was the easiest part of my day. It it's it's so it's so spacious and it feels so good to only have to show up and serve, but to not have to manage anybody for that to happen. And I used to think that the bigger my practice was, the more staff I had to have and the more people I had to manage. And um, little did I know that people don't like to be managed, they like to be led. And I didn't know how to do that in a way that was meaningful to my practice. Because a lot of us, as wellness practitioners, um, we come from a place of philosophy, and what drives us is the foundation of our philosophy. And it's really hard to find somebody to run the admin of the practice who understands the philosophy of the practice, but who also has the talent and skill set to move things forward. And if we do find that person, we recognize what a gem they are. So if you have that person in your world and you're watching this training, give them this training because it will make their world easier. And don't we love gift giving to people who we love? Um, I think what happened, I'm going to tell you a little bit about where I come from and how all this came to be, all the staffless practice stuff. And then I'm going to go through what the tools that I've implemented. I'm not going to say I created them because a lot of them are borrowed, they're borrowed ideas, which many great concepts are borrowed ideas, and how I use them in my practice, and now what we're doing with them. I promise you, I will not sell to you during this training. It's not going to be the kind of thing where I like pull out the like, here's the fast one on you. That's not going to happen today. However, at the end of our time, I will make it really clear. This is the time where I tell you how you can hire me. And if you're interested in hiring me and my team, stay on at the end. If you're not interested in hiring me and my team, then go about your day and go make the world better with great care. I'm not attached. So, spring of 2020, I was in this interesting place where I was running a very busy practice. The world hadn't changed yet. And people were just starting to get sick, and my practice was jamming. It was busy. And I kind of called bullshit on a lot of the things that we were hearing about, but I also respected that some people were really freaked out by it. And the woman who was running my front desk at the time, and again, really busy, lots of systems. Um, she was one of the people who were freaked out, and she quit. She quit. She's like, I can't work anymore. I gotta go. I gotta quit. And she happened to have been one of my best friends. We had gotten very close. We were workout buddies. We did all of the things together. And when she quit my practice, she also quit my life. And for about 3 months, from like January until March of 2020, I guess it was like December until March of 2020, I grieved. It was like going through a divorce. It literally broke my heart. It hurt so bad because, if you have an office manager or a practice partner, it's like being in a marriage. You you eat, sleep, and breathe with that person. And also you're financially invested in that person. And all of those things were true. However, she was also my workout buddy and the girl I called to say, hey, let's go to the mall and shop or whatever. Right. And when she quit my life, and I was grieving big time. And part of a Dinnerman trait, and I'm a Dinnerman, that's my last name, is if we get hurt, We fall down really hard. We feel it. We feel everything really hard. And then we get up and we dust ourselves off and we say, okay, how can this make me stronger? So I did that. I fell down. It hurt. It took a minute for me to get back up. I stayed down for, I'm going to say, a couple minutes and cried. And it was old stuff. It obviously wasn't about this current relationship. It never is, right? And when I got back up, which I did because I always do, I promised myself, never again. This will never happen again. I will never mix my practice with a personal relationship. I will never depend on a team in the way that I was depending on them without giving them guidelines and freedom to use their talent. I did not know how to lead because I had never been taught. And so I promised myself I'd never end up in that position again. So I knew I had to figure out a solution for, hi, Jamie, a solution for how to get my practice members scheduled and paid and referring to us, like all the things that someone sitting at the desk was doing. I had to figure out how to do it without a person because I didn't want to go through it again. And we were getting closer and closer to the world shutting down. So there was like this really intense thing happening where my practice experience was shutting down and the world was shutting down, but my practice was still really busy with people and action. So I needed solutions fast. So I figured out these things. What do I do with the space in my office to make it easy for people to help themselves so that I didn't have to be involved with the super bill, paying me, rescheduling? I couldn't be pulled away from the adjusting room to deal with the admin. So how could I make it so that, kind of like when you go to any fast food restaurant and you walk up to the kiosk and you order, nobody's helping you. Even when you go to the movies, nobody's helping you with that. They don't have to pay somebody to help you with that part, right? And this was before all of this became a big thing. I wanted to figure out how to do that for my practice. But the most important thing, how to not make it cheesy and automated and disconnected. I got really good at it. What do you do with the physical space of the office? What do you do with, how do I manage my time? What kind of visit types? What's up, my brother, Eric? There he is. Shabbat shalom, brother. What do I do with the schedule? Were the types of visits? Eric, you've heard me talk about this stuff so much, you could probably teach the whole training, but I'm not going to make you do that. I might make you do the end of it, but not right now. Just stay tight, hang tight, brother. Okay. I love you. It's good to see you. How do I, how do I how do I look at my schedule and remove the parts that really don't need to be there anymore? What's no longer relevant? Where do I trim the fat? I had to trim the fat of my practice for things to be in order, for me to not have somebody at my desk because my heart was healing and I didn't want to go through it again. You guys, I could cry thinking about how bad this hurt. Then here we are in March. I figured out, this is March 2020. I figured out what to do with the physical space of the office, how to balance my time, how to get my practice members the admin support they needed in the easiest one-click solutions possible that were also compliant and cheap, because I always love a bargain, right? Don't we all? What software programs did I need to have at my fingertips? And those were like the main things I had figured out. But how do I do it all with grace and beauty and love and joy? I didn't know at the time that I was creating this whole thing. I just thought that I was putting a Band-Aid on what seemed like a pretty endless bleed. Then, and if you haven't noticed, I'm kind of vocal on social media. So the whole process, I'm like, you guys, check out what I learned today, right? And Eric was one of my friends who was like, Jody, that's so cool. How did you do that? So spring of 2020, now we're in March and the world starts shutting down. Like we went from you have to do this and that to you're not going anywhere. And all of my friends and colleagues were like pioneers, and we're like, you think we're not going to go anywhere? Watch us, right? And we would show up and serve, and our offices had never been busier. So my phone was blowing up. Like this thing just kept going and going. It's just one right now. With my friends saying, what do I do about this? What do I do about that? I saw you did something really cool with the money conversation. How do I do that? What do I do if they're calling me? What do I do if they're asking me to see their mother-in-law and I have a room full of people? What do I do if I run out of masks? What do I do, Jody? How do I run a practice without staff? Because their staff had just quit. Their staff had just said, I can't come into your practice. It doesn't feel safe to me anymore. And a lot of my friends did not even know how to open a filing cabinet. Like, I know that that's kind of like far-fetched, but they didn't know how to run their practice. And for the first time in their careers, they were being forced to. And it was a hot minute around here. So I said, you know what? I know how to tell you what to do, but I can't reach all of you at once. So let's just put together a program. And at that time, I was really into a multi-level marketing company, which I'm still really into, but I don't do the sales for it anymore. And I knew how to do Zoom meetings. I already knew like how to create a course. So I created a course for making your practice efficient. At that time, it was for women only. It was called Soup School, Staffless Entrepreneurial Women in Practice. And I think Eric might have been the only man that we let in. And it was right.
That was the token dude.
Yeah, you don't really count.
I don't count.
So Soup School was like lifetime value. They paid me like $900 lifetime value for all of the things I had just learned. And I also wrote the book Staffless during the summer of 2020.
Maybe have something important to say, but so far, no.
Well, are you talking to me? I think that was Jennifer. I don't think that was for me. So here I am teaching preparation for practice success. So this is the kind of thing, and we're going to go through it. I want to show you what I'm looking at because I keep looking at it and then I'm realizing that you guys aren't seeing it. So this is the ladder, right? And the ladder for the Staffless Practice Success System, which is what it's known as now. 1, prepare. 2, set your physical space. You guys, if you're screenshotting, this is what you want to screenshot. 3, balance your time. 4, set up a texting program that's compliant and cheap and easy to use. 5, do something with your phone, and I'll tell you what. And 6, get your email program set up. Those were the first 6 steps, and that's what Soup School was. Now, these first 6 steps are in a 12-week program. It's called Staffless Practice Academy Trimester. And then what happens is when we teach people these first 6 steps, their practice starts getting really busy. And that's their new problem, right? Then we teach them how to organize, what to do with new patients, how to grow from the inside, how to grow from the outside, how to grow online, and then how to hire with a wise counsel. So this is what's now known as the Staffless Practice Success System. And the interesting thing is this. We have people who come to us and they might have step 1 good, step 4 good, and step 6 good, but they haven't done step 2, 3, 5, and they want to start with an online course, which is step 11. We always start in order because what I found is I used to talk about a leaky bucket syndrome where if you start growing online, let's say you start dumping money into Facebook ads to grow your practice, and you don't have the infrastructure where you haven't figured out how do you set up your physical space to be super efficient? How do you communicate with your practice members in a compliant one-click solution way? If you haven't figured those things out and you start dumping money into ads, you're going to have this leaky bucket mess. They're going to come in and they're going to go out, and they're going to come in and they're going to go out. And what will happen is you end up being the vessel, right? You end up burning out, gaining 20 pounds, smoking, whatever it is. I've been there. I did all of those things for years, you guys, for years. And now, honestly, here we are on Friday, May 24th, at the time that this is being recorded. And again, I woke up at 5 this morning. I started working because we're about to launch our software program. And ask Andrea, who's with me, like we are cranking right now. There is so much happening. We hired 4 team members last week. Now have, here's the irony. I now have 18 people on my team and it's so good. And my goal is to facilitate these, they're all women. That was an accident. I didn't mean to do that, Eric, right? We're all moving forward together. We're all learning together. We cry together. We laugh together. We learn together. We set goals together. We accomplish the goals together. They don't know about my personal life because it's not necessary. It's not appropriate. I used to think that anybody who was on my team needed to be my best friend. No, 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 no. Boundaries. So the goal in all of this, as we set the stage for your staffless practice success system, is to protect 3 things. Okay. Some people don't like the word protection. They like the word honor. That's fine. Whatever floats your boat. Time. We're protecting time. We're protecting energy, and we're protecting money. The time, energy, money of you and your practice, the time, energy, money of the people on your team, if you have people on your team, the time, energy, money of your family, most importantly, I'm going to say the time, energy, money of your practice members. And here's why I say that's most important. We are here to serve great care. That is what we were put on the planet to do, in my opinion. If you drink the Kool-Aid that I drink about how important the work that we're doing is, my purpose on the planet is to make the world better through my craft. And my craft is chiropractic, right? These guys right here are my tools. The more I do that with integrity and grace and joy, oh, this makes me emotional. And as little interference as possible. The more I can show up and serve and not have all of the bullshit get in my way, the more I know that that adjustment that I just served, or if you're a physical therapist, that treatment that you just served, or if you're an acupuncturist, that session that you just had, the massage, whatever it is that you do, right? If you are coming from a place of connection, you can only do good. Can you imagine being in that place all of the time? So for me, what was keeping me from that place is hearing the phone ringing and hearing the person who I was calling my best friend screwing up at the desk, right? Not her fault, just I didn't know how to train her. So my hope for you is that you leave this time with me, and we have about 30 minutes, feeling like you know what to do on Monday morning, because it's Friday afternoon, unless you're working tomorrow. I want you to have at least 3 takeaways from what I'm about to share with you, even if you've heard me share all of this before. If you are joining me for the first, like if you just jumped in, I just wanted to remind you that I'm going into my top 3 tools for running a practice efficiently. There's no selling during this time with me. If at the end of the hour you want to learn how you can hire us and work with us, that's when I'm going to go there. I'm not going to go there until then. Okay, so first thing is prepare. And you guys, again, I think what I'll do is I'm going to screenshot the ladder so that you guys can look at it. Ladder, staircase, whatever. Sorry, I cried. I think I might be a little bit hormonal. Just a little. Okay, so there's your ladder. So let's start with prepare. How much time did we take in graduate school to recognize who our perfect practice member was? Not much. How much time did we take in graduate school to figure out what our core values were and what our values statement was, or our mission statement, or our tagline, or what a perfect day in practice looks like? I didn't have a whole lot of that. So this is where we start. We start with asking the hard questions. This is the first part. It's the first step. And I mentioned earlier that now we have 18 people on our team, and a handful of them are coaches. And all of my coaches are graduates of our 12-week program, at least, if not our entire program, which is Scale. And if you're working with your coach on my team and they see that you're confused about who you're serving or how you're serving them, guess what we do? We go back to step one. Any 12-step program, and you'll identify that there are 12 steps here, right, guys? Not on accident. So any 12-step program, if you start dropping the ball and you start saying, I want to drink, or I feel like binging, or whatever it is, your sponsor or the person holding your hand and walking you through, they're always going to bring you back to step 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's called the 1, 2, 3 dance, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And the first step is admitting that you're powerless. So the first step to preparing for success in practice, in my opinion, in my world, and you're in my Zoom room right now, so we're going to live there for the next 30 minutes, is identifying, I need to figure out what it looks like. I need to figure out what happiness looks like for me in practice. I need to know what my values are, because they are going to become the pillars of what I'm building. You can't build a building unless there are pillars placed first, right? Your pillars are your values. If you're disconnected from what your values are and they're not in the center of everything that you're doing, you guys, you're missing the boat. So that's where I start. And if you show up on my doorstep and you say, here are my values, here's who my perfect practice member is, you know all of the things, then we go to step 2. I want to apologize. Thanks, Eric. I love you. Sorry. I want to apologize though. I'm done apologizing. I'm so sorry. Okay. Physical space. So at one point I had a 3,200 square foot wellness center that I was running, and I had tenants and I owned the building, and I had 5 front desk people, and I was miserable. I was obese and I was smoking cigarettes. And now I have, my office is like 700 square feet. It's just one box, and happy, and it's joyful, and it's truly my happy place. Here's why. The physical space of the office, it doesn't matter how big it is or how, I don't know what address it is, what status it is, right? What matters is that it hits every sense for your ideal practice member: taste, touch, sound, sight, smell. The other important thing about the physical space of the office is that if you just go through, there are 2 studies I want you, actually, there will be 3 studies that we're going to talk about. The first one is, what are you most commonly asked about during your clinic hours? Is it rescheduling? Is it, where's the bathroom? Is it, I need a new diaper for my baby? Is it, do you have change? Is it, where do my keys go? Is it, do you have a snack? My blood sugar's low. Is it, Johnny just scraped his knee and needs a Band-Aid and he's bleeding as he's walking in your door? What are the most common things you're asked about? Is it, how much are your fees? Whatever, right? And the idea with the physical space of the practice is that we create solutions for your practice members to help themselves to finding that thing that they're looking for. And everybody has different needs based on, back to step 1, who your perfect practice member is. So my perfect practice member is a 30-something mom with the time, energy, and resources to do more and give more to her family. That's who I serve all day long. That's who the physical space in my practice is set up for. We have a killer after school snack area. We've got a diaper changing station. We have an essential oil spritzer bar for all of my moms to like play with the oils. We have a sick toy area that's just legit, right? And all of these things are explained to my practice members without my time being touched. So that's the physical space of the office. There's so much more there. I just wanted to touch on it. So go look around your office and ask yourself with a bird's eye view, what needs to be moved or changed, or what am I asked for more than any other thing that I can create an area for my practice members to do on their own? Okay. Those are what we call client help yourself areas. And everybody's got different ones depending on who you're serving. 3, time. Step 3 is all about time, because you got to figure out how to balance your time in the office and out of the office if you're going to figure out the texting, the phone, and the email. At first, you have to figure out your time. Usually, if you're like me and you've been in practice for a couple of decades, your systems might be a little old, right? And the first time I did this whole time piece, one of the things that I had to recognize is there were visit types that were no longer relevant to the way that I wanted to practice. I might have been doing a visit two for the initial consultation process where it didn't feel relevant anymore. During the pandemic, I had a telehealth call that I would do before people came into my office to screen them and, so that I knew what was, so that I knew how to protect myself. Let's say that. Now my visit types are, I have a visit one in person. I spend a half an hour with them. There's no report of findings. I weave it into a 10-minute, okay, let me explain the safety pin cycle to you. I tell them about chiropractic. I send them home with a form. They go home, watch the video. They send me a code word. They send back a picture of the form. Then my team takes over and gets them scheduled and paid and all of that stuff. That's all the stuff that I teach you in time. And then if you say to me, Jody, I really hate being out of my house after dinner, but your office hours are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 5 to 8 p.m., we're going to double click on that. If you set it up the way that you love, the way that brings joy for you, if you love being out all day Sundays, if it totally floats your boat to see your practice members on the holy day or the church day in their world, then have hours on Sundays, right? You set it up the way that it resonates with you. And I promise if you build it, the people will come. I promise you that's true. So that's time. Also, how long is long enough? How long is not long enough to spend with a practice member? These are all the things that we do a deep dive in when we put this stuff together. Here's why, okay? Let's back the bus up a minute and let's remember that we're setting this up so that you don't have to have somebody sitting at the desk protecting your what? Your time, your energy, your money, protecting who's what? Your practice members' time, energy, and money, right? If you do have somebody or people sitting at the desk, staff less staff doing what's not in their lane of genius. The irony is now we have teams that hire us. As I was sharing earlier, I was just invited to go to Italy and talk to a team. So when a team hires us, the first thing I do is take inventory of who's doing what, and then learn about so Andrea she's our client, our group advisor, right? She's here on the Zoom. Andrea's greatest talent is connecting with people. She's a connector. And if you've had a conversation with her, you know what I'm talking about. You just want to know more. You want to lean in and you want to learn more about her, right? If I put her in an administrative position where she's copying and pasting, I'm missing the boat because her talent is connecting. If you've got Janet who's sitting at your desk and she has a master's degree in art, in art therapy, and her job is to do filing and photocopying for you, you're missing the boat. You get it, right? If you've got Bob who is, I don't know, a physical therapy aide in your practice, but his doctorate is in marketing and business administrative, you're missing the boat. The right people in the right lanes of genius. The other thing I want to just share, I don't have my book here, but my latest Bible is the book called Who Not How. And the concept is this: to best protect time, energy, and money. Most of us, when we have a big project to figure out, what's the first question we ask? How am I going to do this? Right? I want to get from point A to point B. How am I going to do it? And what Dan Kennedy says in this book is, instead of asking how am I going to do it, you ask who can do it. Who can do it? If it's billing, who does that billing thing all day long and could write the book on it? If it's new patient advocate, who serves as a new patient advocate and practices all over the state? And that's what they're most genius with, who can do it for my practice too. You do not have to recreate the wheel. If you have people in their lanes of genius, see, it's not staffless, without staff, it's staff less. It's less staff doing what's not the best use of their time. You get it? Okay, that's time. Next is texting. I can't tell you how much pushback I get with texting when the first thing they say is, People want to talk to somebody, Jody. They're going to go to the guy down the street if I don't answer the phone. Picture this, okay? You're a busy mom. This is me. 10 years ago, busy mom, taking my kid to soccer practice after school. I have to order food. I have to change the laundry. I have to book the dentist appointment, wash the floor, take the dog out because the dog just peed all over the floor. And by the way, I need to find a new house cleaner. I also need to get to my chiropractor this week. Do you think me, as that busy mom with that laundry list, wants to make a phone call right now? Do you think that I want to make a phone call and get put on hold? Do you think that I want to make a phone call and hear how it's a great day at your family wellness practice? I don't want to make a phone call, you guys. I want to say, hey, Siri, text Dr. John's office. Can I come in on Thursday at 3? And guess what's going to happen? Siri's going to send the message. Dr. John's office is going to receive that message so beautifully and text back, sure, I'll see you then. Done. Next. You get it? Every once in a while, somebody wants the phone call. And if you want the phone call, that's cool. Set it up in an efficient, lovely way. Most people don't want the phone call. They want a text. However, it is not compliant to be texting your patients from your phone unless you're using a compliant texting service. And if you have a compliant texting solution, there are certain parameters you want to look for. You want it to be one-click oriented, meaning if someone's asking for directions to your office, you can click a template and off it goes. You want it to be available on any screen so that you can have a virtual assistant running your texting program for you. You want it to be compliant. You want it to be cheap. You want the people who work at the texting program to be nice. It's a little thing, but it's a big thing, you guys, because if the whole texting program shuts down, and it does, you want to be dealing with nice people on the other end because you're going to get to know them. You want great service, like all over the place. So that's the texting program. The way that I use the texting program in my practice, besides like every day, hey, Sally, you left your umbrella, never, ever, 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 ever text health advice to a practice member ever. It's only admin stuff. It's you left your umbrella. My practice is running 5 minutes late. Can you go grab a cup of coffee before your appointment? Whatever, right? It's not, hey, switch out the magnesium for the potassium. No, 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 no. Never in a text, ever. Because it can be read. I just had I have a baby in my practice. True story, you guys. Baby in my practice comes in with terrible colic. What most would call colic, I call it subluxation, right? And I adjust the baby pukes, and the colic is done, right? Not that I fixed the colic, I adjusted the baby subluxation. I addressed the subluxation, and the baby got healthier, and the baby is in a more peaceful place. So mom sends me a text saying, what was the thing you were saying about ginger? Because I was saying, if you shave ginger and boil it and take the washcloth and let it sit in the boiled ginger water, and then let it cool and put it on baby's tummy, it will create ease in baby's tummy. And I said to her, I don't give health advice in a text because that mom could very well hear me say, feed your baby ginger. You just never know, you guys. And then if she takes her phone and puts it in front of the powers that be, they'll say, well, clearly you were telling her to feed the baby ginger, especially when there are typos involved. So never give health advice ever in a text. That's a texting program. We also will use it, like we'll send it every Sunday. We send a text out to our practice members with the hours of the week. I do travel a lot. However, even if I didn't, I would still send that text out, even though my hours don't change, to remind them this is a good week to get adjusted. What week isn't, right? And we always say something cute in it too. Okay, phone system. The idea of this is going to stretch your brain a little bit, and I'll show you an example. Okay. The idea of a phone system is that it is a partner for your voicemail message. So, the funny thing is that once we started teaching all of this stuff, you guys, we had to then create a system for it to be easily duplicatable. So one of the services that we provide on my team is we build websites for people. And here's why. The phone system is going to say, let me share my screen. This is one of the websites that we built. This is Balance and Flow. She's Paige's a physical therapist. And the websites are super simple, super clean, super clear, right? Nothing moving or flying or jumping or whatever. And if someone called Paige's office right now, what they would hear is, this is Balance and Flow Integrative Physical Therapy Services. We're so glad that you called. If you're a new client looking to book your first visit with us, go to our website and click the New Clients button. If you're a current client looking to schedule, go to our website and book the Schedule Here button. If you're looking for more information about our services, go to our website and book and click the services button. All other callers are welcome to leave a message, blah, blah, blah. Text us, text is best. So that's the voicemail message. The voicemail message is always a partner to the website. What I usually see, we offer these things called audits. Like we'll go and look at what your new patients see from like a fresh lenses kind of point of view. And what I usually see is I go to your website and I don't know what you do. It's so overwhelming. There's so many things moving and there's so many words on the site. I don't know where to click. I don't know what to do. And I'm a pretty smart person. So simplicity wins when it comes to a website. Simplicity wins when it comes to a voicemail message funnel. I don't even know where my office phone is, you guys. That's how often I answer it. Like literally, I think it's under Kuna's bed in my office. Kuna's my dog. Because it doesn't ring. I don't hear it ring. I never, ever, ever answer my office phone because when they call, and usually they don't, but if they do, it gives them very clear direction on what to do to get what they're looking for without my time being touched. Because what are we trying to protect? Time, energy, money of me, of my practice members, and my family, yada, yada, yada. Okay. The final thing that we go over in our 12-week program is the email system. And the email system, the idea is that we have a branded, lovely, beautiful, template-based email solution. Let me actually show you my Google account. Just give me a minute to do this because I don't want to show you all of my emails. I've done that before. Not like I have anything scary in my inbox, but you never know. I haven't read my email in the past 15 minutes. Okay. So this is my Google Workspace and it costs, I think it's $10 a month, $12 a month. I have a BAA, a business associate agreement with Google so that I can text people health information and I'm not breaking any laws, right? So my email is branded like this is Jody all over the place. That's my hot pink, my F137A9. Thank you very much. That's my hex code. What's your hex code? It's got links to all of my social accounts. And of course it's got my HIPAA statement, but it's got my HIPAA statement with my personality. See, at the end of it, I say, phew. Have fun with this stuff, you guys, because it's so ridiculous, right? But we have to put it in there. So have fun with it. Do you know how many people have read the word few and smiled? It's a little thing, but it's such a big thing. The other thing I want to show you is that we got this little thing with all of the templates I could possibly need, right? So let's say that we're delivering a website for somebody. It's all right there, you guys. I don't have to recreate the wheel every time I want to send that email out. There's so much time that can be saved when it comes to emails. Okay, so any questions so far before I show you the big thing? Okay, it doesn't look like it. Anybody have questions? I'm going to take a sip. It's straight up vodka. No, it's not. It's not today anyway. Okay, so here's what was happening. We were doing all of these things and we were teaching people in a 12-week program how to put all of them together. What do you do with the texting, the email, the phone, the social media accounts, perfect practice member branding, creating a signature, all of it. And the complaint that we kept getting is there are way too many places to have to look. And I'm like, I know. Like in order to run my practice, I have to have what? I have to my texting program open, my Jane app account open, my Facebook open in case somebody messages me on Facebook, it happens. My email open in case I want to send an email, my full script open. All of the things need to be open. All of my passwords need to be within arm's reach. If God forbid my website needs to be open if somebody's looking for the link, whatever it is, I need to have my notes open so that I can copy and paste links. It was becoming a royal pain in the dupa. And then if I want someone to run my practice for me, say I have a VA that I want a virtual assistant who I want to have run some of these things for me, they needed all of those passwords. Ideally, we're putting it in a password keeper if they know how to use the password keeper. And then what if I change the password? You guys, it was seriously pissing me off. And then I started hearing that from our clients, like, Jody, I love what I'm learning, but there are way too many windows to have open. So I was like, wouldn't it be cool? Here we go. Wouldn't it be cool to have it all in one place, right? Where we have the texting, the email, the website, the social media accounts, all of it. So when I rolled my sleeves up, I hired a developer and we built what is now known as the practice suite. So let me just show you this, you guys. This is our green suite. And the practice suite this is the texting inbox, right? It's also for email, and like Facebook account is attached to this too. The calendars are here, and there's no calendar in this one, but I'll show you a calendar in one of the demos. All of your practice contacts are here. Let's look at the purple one. Okay, so this is what our contacts look like, and they each have a tag. This is conversations. You can call from it too. It's also your phone. Your EHR program can mirror here. So I use Jane app. A lot of the people running this program use Jane app, and your whole schedule will reflect here. And I can show you that in a minute. Your social media icons are here. Your outreach is here if you want to send email campaigns or set up email campaigns, all these social media accounts. You can message people from your practice suite with all of your social media accounts. You can put your website on it so that if someone goes to my website, clicks a button, fills out a form, a whole series of automations happen for them. There's a learning resource center to learn how to use all of it and run all of it. And then all of your social media accounts are set up here. And then, of course, we have Trello SOP, because where would we be without it? So that's the practice suite. And really, it's just satisfying an itch of having it all in one happy place. This is our blue suite. And, the color is a little thing, but it's the kind of thing that you're looking at every day. And it really overwhelms people to look at something that's ugly and clunky. So as of this coming Monday, we actually can say to people, not only can we build you a suite, but we can also run it for you. We can do the texting and the emailing and the scheduling and all of the things. So we can build the suite for you. We can run the suite for you. We can deliver the suite to you. So this is where we've come to from the heartbreak of 2020 to today. And there's no end in sight. My goal is to make it easy for my colleagues and my friends and my mentors to do what they do best without having to be bogged down by the administrative details. I love administrative details. I love organization. I love systems. And I happen to be a little creepy tech savvy, like really tech savvy. So it kind of took all of my natural talents, put them together in one happy picture. And here we are with the practice suite. Usually my first question that I get is, well, how do I get a suite made for me? We ask people to move through our 12-week program, Spa Try, before we even build a suite for them, because that's where you create all of the things that go into your practice suite. You're going to need texting templates and email templates. You're going to need a website. You're going to need to know what to do with the phone. And the practice suite will actually replace your texting program, your practice phone. We can make calls right from in your suite. So my offer is this. Again, in the beginning of the call, I said, if you have no intention of if you don't have any interest in hiring us, this is the point where you should go enjoy the rest of your day. And what I can say to you is hang tight. There's a lot of really cool stuff happening in the next couple of months, stay connected to our Facebook group. If you are interested in hiring us, you start with a call and you start with Andrea, wave your hand. So you start with chatting with Andrea. Andrea's job is to protect what? My time, my energy, and my money. That's her main job when she does these calls with you guys. So she jumps on with you and takes a listen to what you've got going on. She's not selling you anything. She doesn't even have a link to sell you anything. She's just listening and making sure that you are in the right place to get the help that you need. And if you are, she'll then place you to my calendar. That's where you start. You start with, let's see what you need. Some people need me. They need me to be coaching them all the way through. Some people just need to start with our 12-week program. Some people aren't ready for our 12-week program and they need one of our lower tier on our sales ladder programs. We got lots of different programs these days. Andrea, can you drop a link to booking a call with you? And you have stuff, sure, Miriam, hold on. You have stuff available this weekend, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I would say the sooner the better because I know that her schedule fills fast. And it's about a 10-minute phone call, and she'll simply vet you as to whether or not what you need is a match for what we offer. Building a suite, could you incorporate other things into that for a suite that, yes. So truly any button that you need to have one click solution for. So for my suite, let me show you my practice suite. Hold on. My practice has been on the practice suite for 2 months and it's, you guys, it's a freaking game changer. It's so awesome. I can't even tell you. Okay, cool. So this is Light Source Chiropractic Suite and you can't have it because it's mine. I love it so much. So all of my messages have been responded to. That's why there are no messages here. Calendars, this is my Jane app calendar. And you see it only puts first name and last initial in the calendar. This is, so if the person running my suite needs to quickly see my calendar to say yes or no to open an appointment request, they just go right into calendar. And then if we have a new patient schedule, there's a whole series of things that happen for them. Our contacts are here. I'm not going to show you that, but we also have like our compliance program is here, which is HIPAA-mate. And we'll set all of that up for you. I also I have a learning resource center on my practice suite so that I can easily give you guys a link to what you need to learn. We can build courses within this for your patients. You guys, we can literally, the only thing that we cannot do is make phone calls or charge credit cards on your behalf. We can do anything that your heart desires when it comes to having a front desk solution that's not physically in your office. But we do not do billing, we do not charge credit cards, and we do not make phone calls. I hope I answered your question. Isn't it pretty? I think actually my favorite one lately is the green one. I really like the green one. That's why I started with it. It's just so springy and happy. Okay. The flow charts are really cool too, you guys. So how can I show you a flow chart without showing you patient information? Let's go back to this. So flow charts are like, there are 3 different flow charts in here. Let's go to recalls. So once a month, we can run a recall report from you from your EHR. We can add all of the practice members who need to be part of a recall program here. Once we move the person from need outreach to sent text 1, a whole series of automations happen. And we set those automations up based on what you tell us you need. We capture that information from you. And there's so much more coming with that piece, but I don't need to go there. What if I'm already using GHL for other things? You're gonna have to start all over, dude. You're shit out of luck, Eric. No, I think it's just a matter of adding your practice suite to your GHL. And if you guys don't know what GHL is, don't worry about it. All you need to know is the practice suite. What other questions? If you're doing e-prescribing, Well, honestly, Miriam, my promise to you is if we don't know what we're doing, we're going to find the best person out there who does. It's who, not how, all the way around. So if there's somebody out there doing something within the practice suite or with a similar program who knows what to do with prescriptions or whatever it is, we're going to bring their service in and plug and play. That's one of the cool things. It's kind of like when I became a chiropractor, one of my favorite things was I could write doctor's notes for my kids to get out of gym class. I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. So now that where I'm sitting on a platform now where I can call somebody and they'll take my call because I can tell them I have a software program that we want to plug you into, and we'll be able to create a baton pass from you to them, if that makes sense. Okay, so the goal for today, if you are looking to learn more, is to book some time with Andrea over the next couple of days. Usually people are going to start with our 12-week program. If you, like Eric, if you already have your texting templates, your email templates, all of that stuff, all we do is grab that stuff, put it in your practice suite, brand your practice suite, get your phone number set up, and then we can run it for you. Or we can hand the keys over to you and you can run it yourself. Any other questions? Was this helpful? Did you guys get a few things to show up on Monday morning with? Yeah? Crickets. Shh. If someone would have told me 5 years ago how to do the things that I just told you, I would have done a backflip. But don't do a backflip because I can't jump through the computer and adjust you. Any other questions? Does anybody want to unmute and ask questions? Okay, you guys, go make the world better with great care. And thank you for spending the hour with me. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.